Royal Woods Townhomes versus Tamika Matthews, 2401391. And
For the record, Your Honor, Cheryl Luckoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
all right, thank you. And Ms. Matthews, can you please unmute and state your name for the record?
Tamika Matthews.
All right, thank you. All right, and counsel?
Your Honor, I did speak to the defendant. She indicated to me that she had submitted a work order for air conditioning back in June, that they came out in July. She was not satisfied with the repair. I've talked to my client and actually told Ms. Matthews I was going to do that, but she disconnected. I did speak to my client. My client indicated there is not a work order in the system since March of 2024, and that is the method required by the lease, that they have to submit a work order in writing. So at this juncture, if she's claiming her air conditioning isn't working, they'll certainly get someone out to look at it immediately. But without putting the work order in, the landlord is not a mind reader. She said she has some texts, but it doesn't, she has to follow procedure. So I would ask, at this juncture, I assume the court's going to want to adjourn that and ask for an escrow order and, a short adjournment, because we'll fix it, and I believe she's responsible for the rent.
All right, and so Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Have you submitted that work order in writing?
Yes, me and the property manager has been going back and forth as far as this furnace and the central air.
Okay. And you've been going back and forth on a written work order per the policy?
I spoke with the property manager on the text. I thought that was suitable enough. That's how we've been communicating as far as the AC unit from the beginning.
Okay, well, make sure you're following the proper procedure so that there isn't anything lost with that. And then the request is for an escrow order to enter. So ma'am, that means that you'll be paying any rent to the court. And then that way, if there's any money that would be due and owing back to you or to the plaintiff, then the court would determine what that amount is and then release the appropriate funds to the appropriate party.
Okay.
All right, so the court's going to order escrow order to enter, and we can adjourn this. Would the 17th be a good date, counsel? That'd be 2 weeks.
Your Honor, I'd like to set it for next Friday. I'm there. I have a trial in person with you next Friday. Actually, that's this Friday. That's not enough time. All right. Let me just take a look at the 17th, Your Honor.
I was just figuring the 17th, that way would be enough time for any...
I believe it would, yes. I would believe it would be enough time.
I know that you're having a hard time hearing me, but I was still talking, and so for the record, it's not going to pick us both up.
Sorry.
I was thinking the 17th because I didn't think next Tuesday would be enough time for that to occur. And so that's why I was doing it for the 17th. Okay, so ma'am, you will have to deposit your rent here at the court. So just make sure that you are doing so.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, counsel, I'll sign that escrow order upon receipt.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Go. Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go.
Townhomes versus Tamika Matthews, 2401391.
For the record, Your Honor, Cheryl Luckoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Matthews, can you please state your name for the record?
Tamika Matthews.
Okay, thank you. And counsel?
Your Honor, just to refresh the court's recollection here, the defendant had indicated at the last hearing that she did not have air conditioning. She did place her money into escrow per the court's order, $2,900. She's indicated to me, and I'm taking her at face value for that. I do have Mr. Alvin Littell on the call, who is the property manager. at Royal Woods, and he's indicated to me that in June, he had Air Comfort Pro come out to the premises, they fixed the air conditioning. And then they went back on the 3rd, and again, there's nothing wrong with the air conditioning. Ms. Matthews is indicating now that she did have air conditioning, but that she was told that she had to keep it on at all times, which is completely contrary to my recollection of what she had in my notes from the last hearing where she said she didn't have it. At this juncture, we're simply asking for the court to release the escrow. The balance is $3,002.15. If she did put $2,900 in, I'd be willing to dismiss the case with her understanding that she owes $100 to the landlord. But that would be plaintiff's request to release the escrow and dismiss the case.
Okay, so my notes are similar. Mine show issue regarding air conditioning and furnace repair issue, no current work order in system since March 2024. We adjourned it to have that issue addressed, escrow order to enter, and we adjourned it to today's date. And so, there's not an issue with the air conditioning. Ms.
Was
Matt-
she indicating? Oh, sorry.
Your
go ahead.
Honor, the air conditioner guy came out here and basically put a Band-Aid. That's what they doing. He said if I cut the unit off, we would no longer have air until the unit is replaced and the furnace is replaced. Now, nobody's came to the property since they claiming I didn't put the work order in properly. The last appearance in court, I called and put the work in properly. But I have been going back and forth with messages and talking to Alvin the whole time. My air has been running since the man been out here. My DTE bill is $500 because if I cut it off, we would no longer have it.
Okay, so who's the air conditioning company?
It's if Mr. Littell can unmute, Your Honor, he can certainly answer that question. It's Air Comfort Pro, who came out in June.
Okay.
But I'll let you ask him any questions.
Mr. Littell,
Yes.
can you please spell your first and last names for the record?
Yes. First name is Alvin. It's spelled Alven. Last name is Littell. That is spelled Littell.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and so what is your position at the townhomes?
Yes, I am property manager.
Okay, and so you've had communication with Air Comfort Plus?
Air Comfort Pro, but yes.
Oh, Pro, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay, and so when did Air Comfort Pro first go out to the property?
Yes. So in front of me now, I do have the invoice from Air Comfort Pro. It is dated service date June 28th of 2024. It states on the paper that the service call to 13 we found that the system was extremely low on Freon. So they added Freon and charged the system with 3 pounds of 410. That made the system fine. He says, system is working good. We'll return in 1 week's time to check again. So nothing on the invoice stated that anything needed to be kept on or furnace needed to be completely replaced.
Did they go back in a week?
Yes. And then even on September 3rd, just 2 weeks ago, my actual supervisor, that's not connected with Air Comfort Pro, went past the unit and said that the fan and motor was working and blowing.
Okay, I don't think it's an issue of it not working and blowing. I think it's an issue if it turns off, then it won't turn back on. So my question is, on June 28th, did Air Comfort Pro go back out to the property like that indicated on the invoice?
Yes, and Air Comfort Pro did go back out to the unit as well. And then me speaking with the owner of Air Comfort Pro, he said there would never wire anything to where a resident had to keep air on 24/7 and not have it. They would let you turn it. They would turn it off and completely replace the furnace before they wire something to never turn off.
Well, I don't know that it was wired to not turn off. Ms. Matthews, you told you not to turn it off or it won't turn back
The
on.
technician was out here. He replaced the thermostat. He went to the furnace. He said, your furnace is blown. He said, what I'm going to get you going for now, but if you cut it off, you will no longer have air. I can't be in heat. I have heart conditions.
So my question is, Mr. Littell, do you have the name?
Yes.
Do you have the name of the technician that was out?
No, they don't put the text names on the invoice. I'm looking at it now.
And do you have?
I want to say it was Michael.
Excuse me, Ms. Matthews, please don't interrupt me, just one moment. Mr. Mattel, does it state, that there is a thermostat replaced at any point on there?
No, everything in the notes is read you word for word. We can send it as well. Nothing that said anything was replaced or needs to be replaced.
Okay, Ms. Matthews, which date was this service technician out to your apartment when the thermostat was replaced and you were told that your furnace needed to be replaced?
This air been running since June.
That was the question, ma'am. What date was this technician there that stated this to you?
I want to say June the 26th or 27th.
Do you have the money? Let me just confirm with Ms. Perioski that money is in the escrow. And then we're going to recall this matter. So give me just 2 minutes.
Your Honor, I would just submit to the court that the issue that I see is that on September 3rd, that was not presented to the court, that the air conditioning was working and wouldn't stop blowing. It was, my air conditioning doesn't work. So now we're getting a completely different story. And it's questioning.
Ms. Luckoff, my notes, as I stated, say there's issue regarding air conditioning and furnace repair. That's my note. Whatever the specific words were, I don't know. It appears as though she's been told that there's an issue if she turns it off and will turn back on. So let me just confirm that she's made the escrow payment, and then I'm going to recall this matter. Townhomes versus Tanika Matthews. And Ms. Matthews, when is it that, can you please unmute? When is it that you deposited this money into escrow and how did you do it? Please unmute first.
I thought long as I had the money secured in a bank account, that it's considered as escrow.
Ms. Matthews, I specifically stated that an escrow order would enter and then you'd have to deposit the money into the court escrow account.
I was under impression long as the money is in the secure account.
Did at any point, sir, ma'am, did this court state that at all?
Yeah, you did say that.
I said what?
Bring it to Wyandotte, yeah.
Yes, bring it to the court is what I said. Not into a secure account under your control. So that money is, the court's escrow order has not been complied with.
So what do you want me to do? Release it and still be having problems to the LR management?
What I want you to do, Ms. Matthews, is comply with this court's order. So what I'm going to state is that $2,900 must be deposited by noon today at this court, in this court, for the court's escrow order. And I'm going to set this for an in-person hearing on the 24th, in 1 week, so that we can hear from the technician.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Ms. Luckoff? 1 week?
What time would you have that at, Your Honor?
Well, I can either do it, I mean, I'm kind of open, I believe. I don't have my docket in front of me, but, what works for your
I
schedule?
mean, I have to be in Dearborn at 9:30, and I could come after that.
We can do that, we can do it at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Does that work for you, Ms. Matthews?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so counsel, I would like to hear from, the service technician
Okay.
and potentially the company, the representative from the company that would have information about that. And even Mr. Liddell can be present as well, so.
Your Honor, can they appear by Zoom? I mean, to pull a contractor or maintenance personnel in person can be really disruptive.
Well, counsel, I can appreciate that, but the problem is that there may be documentation I need to look at and review that would be difficult to have if they're not here in person. And given that, they were out of the property, there's no dispute about that, but whether or not, the status of the furnace or whatnot, because there doesn't seem to be any documentation regarding that on what Mr. Liddell has. I don't know if there's some other documentation within, what have you, with the technician. It'd be preferred if they are in person. If they're on Zoom, then all documentation needs to be submitted to you and Ms. Matthews prior to the court date so that you can bring all that in person. Does that?
Sure, absolutely.
So in the event the technician is unable to be in person, then all documents regarding service and calls to tenant's apartment must be submitted to council and Ms. Matthews prior to the hearing, so not the day of, obviously, at least a day before. So Ms. Matthews can also review that, and then it's here, it'll be here for the court to review. Okay, so Ms. Matthews.
Understood, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that, Ms. Luckoff?
Oh, I just said it, understood, thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Matthews, any questions?
No.
Okay, so you need to make sure that money's deposited here in the court escrow by noon today.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We'll see everybody back next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. And then if there's anything that you would like the court to take into consideration, you have to make sure that you're sending it to Ms. Luckoff beforehand, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's go off the record. All right, we will go on the record in the matter of Jason Curtis, 24314A.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Corey Westmoreland appearing on behalf of Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis, would you please state your full name for the record?
Jason Curtis for the record.
All right, thank you. And today is okay. All right, and sir, I'm sorry, counsel, today is the date scheduled for the probation violation hearing where it's alleged your client tested positive for codeine and marijuana on August 13th and cocaine and marijuana on August 20th. And your client's currently on probation for possession of controlled substance. I know it says technical violation 2, but I believe it's technical violations 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, but, oh no, 1 and 2, okay.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, and counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. I did have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Curtis regarding the alleged violations. At this time, we are prepared to waive any sort of contested hearing and enter a guilty plea on his behalf.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you heard the allegations that were placed on the record, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
As to those allegations, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And you've gone over your advice of rights with your attorney for probation violation purposes, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand all of those rights.
I do, Your Honor.
You also understand that by entering into a plea, that you'll be waiving some of those rights.
Yes, I do.
And you also understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that the recommendation in this matter is specifically for under advisement status to be revoked, continue and complete all terms of probation, pay a $50 probation violation fee, increase testing and attend outpatient substance use counseling. Understand that's the recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand this court can adopt that recommendation whole, in part, or not at all.
I do, Your Honor.
And knowing all that, do you want to continue with your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, if you can please party your client.
Sure. Mr. Curtis, are you currently on probation out of the Wyandotte District Court?
Yes, I am.
As a term and condition of your probation, are you to not test positive for any drugs or alcohol?
That is correct.
Did you in fact test positive for codeine and marijuana on August 13th of this year?
I did.
Did you also test positive for cocaine and marijuana on August 20th of this year?
Yes, I did.
And you understand that those are direct violations of your probation?
Yes, I do.
Satisfied, Your Honor.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to the probation violation. Indicate technical violations 1 and 2 will enter based upon that plea. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like you to know that Mr. Curtis has been on probation since April. This is the first time he slipped up. He's been nothing but open and honest about it. He's not trying to deceive the court in any way. He's extremely apologetic for his actions. Your Honor, I would just ask that the recommendation be adopted on behalf of Mr. Curtis, as he does have intentions on moving forward and not violating and completing his remainder term.
Okay, if I recall correctly, your wife was just here.
I'm not, yeah, she was here. I'm not her attorney or her, so I can't really speak.
No, I'm just trying to make sure I have the connection correct in my head. Because you both had your daughter here.
Yeah.
That was here.
No, my wife's in county now. Yep.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
Sir, why can't, what's going on?
I've been doing well, Your Honor. This is my first slip up. I've just the stress with her and trying to get back into IT and work and not getting interviews and stuff. So I got overwhelmed. I slipped up. I'm not making excuses. That's all. I just had a slip.
Twice.
Yeah. Yes. I'm not sure what the codeine is. I think that's just migraine medication. I had a bad headache one day. I took 3 of these migraine pills the day I tested. I'm not sure why that's there, but everything else is me. So.
All right, so you need to make sure that you're reviewing the ingredients on everything.
Yeah, it was over the counter. I didn't stress about it, but apparently, because I don't know.
I don't think codeine would be an over-the-counter medication.
Right, again, I have no idea why that's there. Everything else I understand why happened, but.
Have you cleared up your warrants at all?
I've cleared up Dearborn and Lincoln Park. I owe a lot of money, so I haven't dealt with Dearborn Heights and Taylor yet, because I owe almost $600 to Dearborn, $700 to Lincoln Park, $1,400 here, and $341 to Woodhaven. So I'm trying to pay those down before I contact additional courts. I've also paid 3 reinstatement fees on my license. I've taken care of anything that can take my license away again. So I have my license to stay, which allows me to work. I grossed over $1,100 last week, and if I can continue doing what I'm doing and just get everything paid off, and I think I'm going in the right direction, Your Honor.
You are, but I will let you know if I revoke your under advisement status, say your license will also be suspended.
Well, I would beg the court to please not do that if at all possible, if the court would consider that, but I understand if that must be done.
When's the last time you tested, sir?
A week ago today.
So if you were to test right now, what's in your system?
I think still a declining amount of weed. I haven't used anything in 7 days, 8 days, something like that.
Well, why would you have used 8 days ago, sir?
I don't know. I make no excuses, ma'am.
Sir, you have pending violations here. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for your court date, you're still using marijuana.
And again, dropping my wife off at county and working 50 hours and again, I just got overwhelmed. I've sought counseling. I'm trying to deal with it.
Please explain to me. How does using these drugs that are not prescribed to you, sir, how does that help your stressful situation?
Well, it didn't, and I'm working to find more healthy, effective ways to deal with stress, Your Honor. I really am.
There's nothing else in your system.
There could be some level of those in my system still, but I have not used anything in 7 days.
So you used cocaine again too?
A
7 days ago?
A week ago Tuesday, yes.
Well, I'm going to presume there's going to be another violation coming through. What'd you do? You used right after you tested?
I did.
Counsel, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Not this time, Your Honor.
What'd you use last week, sir?
Cocaine and marijuana, Your Honor.
Here's what the court's going to do. The court's going to have you continue and complete all terms of probation. The court's not going to revoke your under advisement status at this particular moment so that you can maintain your license.
Thank you, Your Honor.
However, this court's going to order 5 days jail. I'm going to suspend that jail. That means, sir, if there's another violation, that jail's on the table.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to leave it in the discretion of your probation officer as to how she wants to handle what shows up on the next drug test.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have
Thank you,
$50 probation violation fee. You have to enroll and participate in outpatient substance use counseling, and you're going to have increased testing. Sir, there will be mandatory revocation of your under advisement status and mandatory jail for any other violation.
I understand.
You and your wife both have an issue. Then not play around with it at all.
I understand.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, hoping that I'm not going to regret this,
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
so as to not have you lose your license. So that you can continue to work and clear up your license, your other tickets.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank
Do
you.
you have a valid license even though you have these other outstanding warrants?
They're not the type that suspend your license, so it's unpaid tickets and they're warrants, but it's like only the no insurance or driving on a suspendeds were the one that were directly affecting my license. According to the Lincoln Park judge, at this time, I am clear on my license.
Can we confirm that with the Secretary of State?
Yeah, I mean, I paid the reinstatement fee and I check about once a week. I log on to Secretary of State to make sure that it says still valid. Because of all the other open tickets, I try to keep an eye on it.
All right, sir. You also are going to attend the fan meetings once per month.
Yeah, I have 2 left as a part of, I was assigned 3 in the beginning of probation. I've been to 1 and this next one's tonight in Sterling Heights.
You attend the one in Sterling Heights?
I was told just to follow their Facebook page and catch the monthly fan forum. This month's fan forum is in Sterling Heights. The last one I attended in August was in Warren. They're definitely have not been around the corner so far.
There's a Downriver chapter.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I started attending them because I had it in the beginning.
Does your daughter know about this with you at least?
Yeah, my daughter knows. She's not happy, but you know, she doesn't stay with us either, Your Honor, so.
All right. Make sure you stop and see Miss Shine, sir.
Yes,
Have a good day.
you do the same thing.
Thank you, Judge.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're going to start bringing people in person. People going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, after today, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.